Last on our to-do list here is to create and insert the footer div tag. And I'm going to show you what this looks like down here at the bottom as an example. So right here you can see it all rights reserved, copyright, and then a name with an email link. Now we're not going to insert the text in this tutorial, we're going to do it in the next tutorial, but we do need to create the div tag that houses that that information. So we're going to tab back over to Dreamweaver here, and this is where we left off. We had put in some our content div with some paragraphs and spaces in there to create some create a form, for us to kind of see visually how our page was shaping up. So I'm going to flip back over to the code view here, and again, the first thing we need to do is create the ID and style the ID of the footer div. So we're going to go back over to our CSS file, and we're going to hit enter return a couple times again after content, and then we're going to type in our pound symbol and footer, and open up a curly brace and hit the enter return key. Now, since we're going to put this underneath the wrapper, we want this to hang out underneath it so that it doesn't get some of the same styling and coloring of it. There's a couple extra steps that we have to do for that very reason. We still give it the same width as we have on all of our div elements, div tags that we've created before. So I'm going to type in width 900 pixels. What we need to do is give it the same margin property as the wrapper. And if you recall up here, and I'm highlighting the wrapper up here, we need to give it the same margin property so that our footer div centers within the page just like the wrapper. So we're going to come back down here to our footer, and I'm going to type in margin, and we're going to do the shortcut way. So we're just going to type in margin, and believe it or not, we're going to do the same in terms of our top and bottom. So 0 pixels. And if you remember the shortcut version, the first value, if the first and bottom, or the top and bottom values are the same, we can just leave it at 0 for the first value because that represents the top and bottom. If it were different, we'd have to add in some more values, and we'll do that in another exercise, and you'll see how that works. And again, we're going to type in auto for the left and right value. So the second value is for the left and right values. If they're the same, we don't need to do the 4 sides. Okay. Next, we just hit return, and believe it or not, that's about all we need to do for the footer. We will add more styling to that in the next exercise when we add some content, some text. But for now, that's all we really need to do. So I'm going to close that out with a curly brace, and that's all we need to do for the styling. So we're going to toggle back over to our HTML, to our source code. And if you remember right, we said that we're going to place this underneath the wrapper. So there's the start of the wrapper up there. I just highlighted up there at the very top. And the closing div tag of the wrapper is the one that's at the very bottom. So remember that everything inside the wrapper is within its open and closing tags. So our footer is actually going to fall outside of that. So we're going to hit return, and just to give us a little extra space and know what we're looking at, we're going to hit return again so that I'm going to actually enter this into line 25. So I'm going to open up a left caret and type in div ID and hit return enter so it completes it out for me. And then select footer, and then right caret to end that statement, and then hit the return enter key a couple more times again, left caret and /. Okay. You'll note that we didn't really do much to this, right? We just created the space for it. We didn't add any background coloring or anything like that. Really, we're just going to add text. And there's a couple of things that we're going to do to the text, and that's really all the styling that we're going to do. So in the next exercise, we're going to add the copyright information and an email link and style that text.